These 5 tips will help even the most beginner of golfers hold their own on the golf course. So you're gonna have a lot more fun while you're out on the golf course, and you're gonna make the most out of the skills you have. Let's get into it. Tip number 1. The most basic thing you need to be able to do when you get out on the golf course is get the ball off the ground. If you feel a soft thud on your downswing, then that's called a fat shot. That means you're hitting the ground before you hit the ball. And that's gonna cause the ball just to kind of dribble out there and not do a whole lot. In order to correct a fat shot, what you need to do is try to blade the ball. So what you wanna do is you wanna try to make the very bottom of your club face hit the very middle of the golf ball. If you're hitting shots fat, that's a very common miss, try to blade the ball. Try to hit the middle of the ball with the bottom of your golf club. Now, if your shot feels a little hard or clingy and the ball barely gets off the ground or just kind of rolls along the ground, that means you are blading it or topping it and you need to hit lower on the ball. So again, to correct this, we're gonna try to over-exaggerate our correction and we're gonna try to hit the ground an inch behind the ball. Make those adjustments until you get that club in that sweet spot and send the ball where you want it to go. Now, this concept of over-exaggerating corrections applies to side misses too. If I'm hitting it off the toe, try to hit it off the heel or the hosel. When you exaggerate those corrections, you're gonna find yourself in the sweet spot and you're gonna be hitting the ball really well. That's tip number 1. Time for tip number 2. Number 1 cause of lost golf balls for brand new golfers is not squaring your club face. If you're not getting that club face somewhat square at impact, you're gonna have a lot of balls going way right or way left, and you're gonna be sad because you're losing balls and playing really crappy golf. The thing that tells you which way your club face was pointed at impact is simply the direction the ball starts. Ignore the curve, watch how your ball starts after you hit it. So that shot started way out to the right, so we know we need to close the club face. As you're swinging the club down, you want to imagine you're holding a handheld screwdriver, and you want to imagine you're loosening a screw as you come down. And when we do that, that's going to cause the club face to square up. Now again, we want to overcorrect on everything we do. So we went right, now we're going to try to go left, just so we can get the feeling of what that feels like. So I'm going to really try to close that club face by loosening that screw and see if I can't get one to start left. We were able to start that one left, so now I know, oh, I loosened that screw a little too much. Let's try to ease up on the loosening and see if we can get the sweet spot. That loosening the screw technique is really gonna help you get the club face square. It's helped me a lot to keep more balls in play, and I know it's gonna do the same for you. Let's move on to the next tip, which is your club path. This is the trickiest one, so stick with me. I've got this chart right here and it's color-coded to help you understand. One of the most common misses in golf is a slice, and a slice is caused by an out-to-in swing path. Top of my downswing, I'm out, my club head's out here away from me, and then as I come down, it's coming across inside my body, and that's what causes the ball to slice if your club face is square. Now, if your club face is super closed and you have that path, as you can see by this diagram, then your path's following the club face, that ball is just gonna go straight left, which still isn't a good result. So if you have an out-to-in swing path, the ball is not gonna do what you want it to do. An out-to-in path is okay as long as it's not exaggerated. The problem is when you start slicing and your natural inclination is to hit left more, your ball is going right, so I wanna hit left more. That makes your club cut across that path even more, making it slice even more and accentuating the problem. So when your ball's slicing to the right, the correction is not to come out right to left more, it's actually the opposite. As you can see on this diagram here, if you wanna follow the yellow path here, behind the ball, your club should be to the left of it, and ahead of the ball, your club should be to the right of it. That's an in to out path, and that's gonna create spin to make the ball go left. So I'm gonna hit a normal fader slice first so you can see what that looks like, and then I'm gonna make an adjustment on my swing path so you can see the correction there. That thing sliced like crazy. That ball started straight. That means I had a square club face, but the path was so out to in, the ball just peeled out there. So I'm gonna keep a square club face again, but this time I'm gonna try to go a little in to out, and it should spin a little bit to the left. That's a great flight path right there. Just a little bit of a draw. It means that my path relative to my face was just a little bit into out. That's what's gonna give you the most power and give you shots that you're really happy about advancing that ball. Now, if you, like most golfers, have a common miss of out to in, if you're slicing the ball a lot, first thing I recommend in order to get that in to out club path, when you're at the top of your backswing, the first thing you do is start down with your hips. That's gonna bring your arms down to your side. As you start with your hips, bring your right elbow into your right hip, and then you're in position to go more into out. That's gonna promote that in to out path, which is gonna give you that draw flight. If you're having a hard time making that happen with the in to out path, this tee will do it for you. So I've got this tee here just outside of the toe of my club, about 3 inches behind the ball. That's gonna make it impossible for me to swing out to in. It's gonna get rid of your slice. As long as you're squaring up the club face with that tee right there, you will not slice the ball. Now keep in mind, all these tips I'm telling you, it's very helpful to get your club path right, but more important is getting that club face square. Make sure that the ball is starting on a straight path every time. That's it for tip 3. Let's move on to tip 4, which is controlling your putter distance. Putting can be the most demoralizing part of golf for a lot of beginners. We've all seen it. You're 20 feet from the hole and then you blast your putt 20 feet past the hole. So you come back, you want to be more careful, and you hit it soft and only gets halfway there. Go hit it again, it only gets halfway there again. 10 minutes on the practice green can fix it. So we're gonna find a hole on the practice green and we're gonna take 10 paces away from that hole. Once we get to 10 paces, that's about 30 feet for someone like me. But the important thing is that you always use your paces to measure your putts, and you know exactly what you're dealing with. You're gonna put 5 balls on the ground, and now you're gonna practice hitting these 5 putts. But when you're practicing these putts, you're gonna stare at the hole while you do your swing. You're going to imagine like you're throwing a ball to the hole, and that's how you're gonna swing your putter. The combination of looking at the hole and visualizing yourself throwing the ball at the hole is gonna help you get a whole lot better at judging the distance really quickly. So once you've got these 5 putts kind of dialed in, pay attention to how it feels to hit that 10 paces. Use that as a baseline. So when you're out on the course 5 paces away, you know you need to do it half as strong. And by the way, this drill that I'm telling you to do now, use that on the course as well. Stare at the hole, pretend you're throwing a ball to the hole. Your putts are gonna be so much better distance-wise. That's it for tip 4, let's move on. Okay, the final tip I have for you is just to keep up the pace of play. Don't let your enjoyment get chewed up worrying about what other people are thinking about you and your skill level. The only thing they're gonna care about is if you're taking an hour on every shot. Say somebody hit their drive way out to the left and you slice your drive way out to the right. When you hit your drives in completely opposite directions, that's not the time to hang out. You let them go to their ball, you go to your ball. That's gonna save a lot of time and keep things moving a good pace during the round. Now, when you get to your ball, the official rule is that whoever's furthest away from the hole goes next. But I like to play ready golf. A lot of people like to play ready golf. As soon as you get to your ball, you can hit it as long as you're not interrupting somebody else's shot or somebody else's swing. Just be aware of what's going on and be present so you can get to your ball quickly, play your shot when the opportunity presents itself, and keep the pace of play moving. Your playing partners are going to thank you for it. It's okay to suck at golf on the course. It's not okay to suck slow. You got to suck quickly. We've talked about advancing the ball, squaring the club face, controlling your club path, putting the right distance, and keeping up the pace of play. Doing these 5 things are going to eliminate most of the stress you feel on the golf course. You're going to play better and you're going to have a better time doing it. Let me know in the comments which one of these tips you found the most helpful. And if you want to get real serious about improving your game, check out this Ben Hogan video here. It's helped hundreds of thousands golfers like yourselves take their game to the next level. It's done it for me, and I know it can do it for you. If these tips helped you at all, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.